Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Around the Game, the Sunday edition. And tonight, I'm with the 2019 FUBA MVP. He has been the top scorer very many times, Mr. Cyrus Kiviri. Cyrus, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So, Cyrus, when did you begin playing basketball and why?
I started playing basketball when I was in primary five, and I started playing netball at school because we didn't have a basketball court. So I started playing netball with the girls, but I was raised at a place where we have courts around at the courts at the church, and I could easily access my career main ground. So it was easy for me to start playing the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell us about your basketball history, like the clubs you've been to, high school.
Mm. Yeah, so I went to Lubiri Secondary School after my primary, and from then I played for the school team in my senior three. Um, then after that, I started playing for Ndeje. I joined Ndeje earlier as a club. I played for them in the tryout games in 2005 when they were preparing for the university games at Uruwero, the main campus. So I was part of that team, though I was still in high school, but I didn't play. I was just practicing and the tryout kid.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I joined the J formally in 2006 when I was still in the lower division. Yeah.
Then the clubs.
Then so after Ndeje, I went to Warriors. I won the championship in 2012. Then after that, I quit the team. I went to UCL Cannons. If I recall well, I think we never lost a game in the regular season when I was at UCL. We're a tough team. We're a tough team. Then we didn't go far. We got knocked out by the Falcons. They had lots of vets on their roster. Lots of vets. We didn't stand a chance. Then I went to Falcons afterwards, after UCU. Then I joined our Savior. And all those teams are playing 1 year. You know? Yeah, it sounds funny, but it happened. And then yeah, after Falcons, I went to our Savior. After our Savior, I went back to Warriors for the second stint. And then I left Warriors for Power. Then here I am, Namwongo. Namwongo. Yeah.
Okay.
That has been my journey.
Tell us about your high school. I believe to some players, I cannot say most because there's some schools without basketball. So tell us about your high school journey towards the contribution of your basketball career.
It was a lot. It contributed a lot to my high school, the school I went to, and I think if I didn't, I think I chose wisely because I would have joined Mango Senior School. But as I entered the gate with my mom, the basketball court on the left hand side, as you head to the administration block, it was maroon. So I told my mom I want to play basketball. I can't be here. So I chose Lovili, and they had a basketball court already, which was old, but at least I could pass the ball during break time, lunch time, and ring the bell to go home. And the school had players, students who could play, who used to stay around my career. So I would see those same faces during the weekend when we got my hero to play.
Okay.
So it was easy. I blended in easily, and I would have played in senior two, not as a starter or a very useful player on the court, but I chose not to. In Form 3, I joined the school team, and yeah, I started playing. Solo really was a big factor.
Did they have maybe can I say were you coached by teachers or they were getting coaches from outside?
No, we had that coach. We had that coach who was a former player. It's called Bukenya Raymond, and he was playing for Miracle Eagles then. don't think the team still exists, maybe in the lower divisions. So he used to coach us. We had a coach, and we had a direction to follow at least.
Okay. So, what was your first experience like when you joined basketball in high school? The first day you went on the court, were you scared? Did they chase you away? The bullies?
I didn't meet many bullies because the bullies I could have met then were the same players I met at Makero over the weekend. And there was a huge guy called was Chiravo's brother, who I forgot, Moa. Moa was so mad. Like I've never seen such a guy. And he was a student. So when I got on court, it's like, do they allow
Teacher?
teachers to play with kids? Moa was so built. But they had that gym at the back door of the house. So I didn't meet any bullies, but my peers were shocked that I could play basketball and soccer. We were so active in soccer then. So it was easy. And I would just walk into the court once in a while. I shoot a free or a spin move on a layup, and it was nice.
Okay. So, you've mentioned earlier on you've beat about 5 or 6. What have you learned from those teams as a player, as a man?
Yeah, a lot. And all teams are not the same. All those teams are different. The teams I've been to, structure wise, same players though, but different philosophies. And I've learned a lot as a person, I'll tell you. But I've learned a lot as a player because I've played with different players from all over East Africa. And that helped me a lot into my basketball career because I would get different advice from different people, and the competition was different. Kenyans are raised differently the way they play the game. Some are Tanzanians, the Rwandans, the Burundians. So it's been like that.
So, you mentioned earlier on you have one championship so far. That was in 2012 with Warriors.
Yes.
Tell us about that championship here. What is
You
so
want to know
different,
about
like, because it's 2020, you've taken 8 years without winning a championship. So, what was so different about that 2012 championship here? Was it the players? Was it the management? Because I believe the competition was really tight in 2012, and I'm very sure you were a very young man, but you were a starter and you were a champion. So, what was different about the championship here?
I mean, if you win, you get happy, you get excited about getting a ring. That's what we call how we call it championship in basketball terms. But I was never excited about the championship. Like I never felt good about it. But it was different when I stepped on court. I enjoyed every bit of the time I spent on court at Warriors. You know, I was coming from a proper grassroots. I have my coach then, my second coach. He prepared me well for those moments. And we had to go through UCU Canos. It was a tough semi-final. I had vets on the team, like I told you. They guided me.
That's like
until I
who?
was good. I played with Henry Nali. I played with Eric for like a month or two. Who was always in and out. He had a bad knee injury. I played with Ronnie. I played with Ivan. I played with Gomesi, Gombia. Oh, it was a solid squad. Oh, karaoke, my Kenyan, Jude, Okias. Oh my God, that team was amazing. Yeah.
So, did they contribute towards you settling in the team, the veterans? How supportive were they?
Yeah, they were supportive. They could help when they had to. But I got into the team easily. I think it's because of where I was coming from. I, was, I wasn't taking the opportunity for granted. I had that contract, so I took the game serious then. I also had a side job, but I did. Yeah, they helped me settle in when they could, and the coach as well helped me settle in. Cause I remember I was at my mom's place, and then he gave me a call before the season started, asking me if I could join the team, and I'd watched them playing a semi-final against UCU. I think it was 2011. Like, in my opinion, I've never seen such games in Uganda than the games I watched in 2011 semi-final. UCU against Warriors. I don't know where you were. Man. They were nice games. We should get videos for them. Nice.
So tell us about the experience you had in Ndete, because I know Cyrus Kiviri became a household name when you played for Ndeja University. I believe that's where you pursued your education from.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience with the Ndeja team.
So I saw many people come and leave in Ndeja. You know, I was there from the start, from the scratch, and Ndeja helped me grow. I guess I contributed a lot towards the program at Ndeja, basketball wise, and it just gave me an opportunity to develop into a basketball player. And we lost some games, we won some, we never went far, but most of the time I was on the floor. It's not because I was a Ugandan or close to the coach. Like I had my struggles with the coach. We would outcross the line most of the time. He would step into my side most of the time. But I was always ready to compete with whoever came on the team. And I met so many players at Namblazers, so many players. So it really gave me a good stepping stone into my basketball career.
You went through one of the best coaches in Uganda. I would say Coach Walker is arguably one of the best. He has nurtured a lot of players.
Yes, sir.
I know he has not yet won like championships in the league, but I believe in high school he has won. The university he has won. So tell us about Walker Obedi Mwesigwa. Mwesigwa.
Obedi Mwesigwa.
Yes,
Walker.
tell us about Mwesigwa.
Nice guy, nice dude. I like Walker. He trusted in me with the whole university team because I used to be the point guy. Like I used to represent 1,000 students, some who stayed in the world or didn't know about us, and he never gave up on me. There's a time he used to come to my mom's house asking for me to go train, and I would hide. I would be like, no, I'm playing soccer. What's wrong with you? I don't want to play basketball. But I think he had seen something in me that I didn't know yet, and he never gave up on me. He worked me, he trained me. Like I'll take 1,000 shots. I wasn't a great shooter at Ndeje, but the fruits of what I used to do with him, 2 p.m., early in the morning, helped me later in my career. And he was a workaholic as well. He was a workaholic. He used to wake up in the morning, go to main ground, shoot around. And I was a buddy, I was a friend to him. I used to come and be down for him. He was a great shooter as well. Walker would take on anyone if it's a 3-point contest. He believed he was the best shooter in the land.
Okay, tell us about your experience of the UCU Canon team. I believe you're there for about 1 year.
Yes, amazing. It was amazing. I met another great coach there. Coach Nick. A good team. We had just played them in the semi-final. We didn't like each other. I mean, I was guarding Sudi. I was going through Desmond Peaks. I was going through Martino Papo Peaks. Sudi then was a knockdown shooter. He still is. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, you know. Sudi would shoot, would attack. He would try to cross over on the right. So I'd met them earlier. We are not buddies, but I mean they knew what I'd bring on the table, and I respected that program. It's a team I liked. I enjoyed watching UCU basketball. I still do at times. So the experience was great. When I went there, of course, the respect was there. I was a champion from Warriors, and we had a scuffle with Desmond in the semi-final when I was in Warriors, and he was welcoming. He's a nice guy. Desmond was a nice guy. As that with Okot Sando Kipe. I met amazing players at UCU. Amazing players at UCU. I like the experience. I wish I'd stayed longer, you know. I wish I'd stayed longer, but I couldn't because of some personal reasons. I couldn't stay longer at UCU, but how I wish that I'd stayed, it would have been amazing. We're tough. We met, there's a tournament they organized, Kampala something. It used to be organized by the city council. And we met the silverbacks then, 2013. I don't think they had the name silverbacks by then, but we met the national team. They organized something and they played in that tournament. You see, you came and participated, and we smacked them back. It was nice. It was nice. It was the Easter Cup. Easter Cup. Yes, Easter Cup. Yes.
Tell us about your experience on the Warriors team.
Warriors team.
Sorry, not Warriors, Falcons team.
Falcons. Yes, Falcons. You know, I grew up a few meters from the Falcons base. It was a van restaurant called Simcat. It was owned by the late Simwa.
Okay.
Rest in peace, eternal peace. And they used to practice from Makerere main ground, and I could easily access Makerere main ground. So I grew up a Falcons fan, 100%. I liked the Falcons. It was a smart team. They played nice basketball, and leaving UCU to Falcons, I was going to my dream team then, and it was easy. It was coached by Obozen, some of them. And they recruited me. I talked to the manager then, Semanda, gave me a good offer. I was practicing from the full court then, it was accessible to me. I had a family then, just got on my daughter. And yeah, I settled in easily. Wasn't the experience wasn't bad. Though we struggled to get numbers for practice. We struggled to get numbers for practice, and we never went that far as we wanted that year.
So Falcons is among the greatest teams in Uganda.
So,
But hearing you say to get numbers during practice, that means they were going down. Like currently, I believe Falcons is not where they're supposed to be when it comes to their history.
yes.
What led to Falcons breaking as a great team in Uganda?
The Falcons didn't break down that year, 2014.
No, I'm saying because you say that you used to struggle getting numbers for practice. I don't believe that happens in a team like City Oil right now. So those are signs of it going down. Why do you think Falcons is no longer that kind of team everyone expects it to be?
The loss of the president, the loss of Simba. I mean, if your Falcon was a competitive team when that guy was still alive, even when he had struggles, whatever he was going through, and once he passed on, the struggles just started building up, and because they had no direction. Whoever took over the team, I think it wasn't for the right reasons, in my opinion. And Simba was basketball 24/7. Like he used to come then in 2002, he would come and work out with the team. And he was an old guy, he ran shuttles, you know. But they didn't have such a guy anymore. It's not that they should have such a guy to take them to the next sport. I don't think there's other teams that might just come around and among the teams, but the loss of Simba affected I think so much.
So from Falcons, I believe you went to Our Savior.
Mm,
Tell us about your experience with Our Savior.
yeah, I was saving. You know, I coach basketball, so I was coaching British school in Kampala, in Muyenga, and it had just started. The school, I think, was 2 years old, if I'm not mistaken, and they didn't have a basketball program. So I started coaching that school, and I was trying to start up something, a club, a basketball club, and I needed a trainer. So that team had an American, and I was an owner. He got it from UCU JV, yeah, and I invited him to come and help me coach the kids, so that I build up on the numbers. You know, he had good grades from where he was coming from, and used to hold camps in the state. So we got a relationship. It was very friendly and nice. So after my Falcons contract expired, I got an opportunity to own a team, a UCU JV team. And he reached out to me and said, "Yes, I'm interested in owning that team, and I think we can set up something." And I told him, since he was a buddy, I told him, "Yeah, we can set up a team, and I can help you with players." And the experience was great. Like, that's the best trainer. The team had the top trainers that I've ever met in basketball. Not coach, a trainer, someone who will just work on your game, gives you moves, yeah, tells you how to be disciplined as you're working out. Like, everything was intense. So I met Coach Mo there. It was nice, Coach Mo. The experience was nice because I had never gone through that. I started hitting the gym. It wasn't lovely though; those things are heavy. So I didn't spend a lot of time there. But the routine, the things we used to go through, we used to practice in a proper basketball way, I should say. And they used to prepare us for games. Like, the way teams should be prepared for games. And the experience was nice. It was great.
Then you said you've been to Warriors twice.
Yes.
Championship here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think recently that was about 2018.
Yes,
17, 18, around there.
Mm.
Tell us about that second stint in Warriors. I believe you're one of the franchise players in the team. I know you signed a contract and your contract expired and you moved on. A player of your caliber, under normal circumstances, no one would want to lose you. So why did you finally decide to leave Warriors and join Power?
First of all, my contract had expired at Warriors, and we, man, it's Warriors. We also struggle to get numbers at practice. I'll tell you, we also struggle to get numbers. The discipline in the team started dropping. You know, we lost Mike in a semi-final when we were playing KIU, and that hurt us. I thought we had a chance of making to the final. I mean, God knows what would have happened, but at least we would have made City off. And the following year, the team was in tatters, but I stayed. We started the games when we were like 5 players, 6 players. I had no substitute. Things were not promising. Uh, Players used to abscond. Like, someone goes for a month, you don't know where he is. And the discipline wasn't nice at Warriors. And I'm not about that life. Like, I want to be a place where I'm happy, nice teammates, where we all come and work. You know, yeah. I feel like it was the right time for me to leave Warriors, and I did the right decision.
So why Power after Warriors? Where did you decide to join Power? What was your experience like in Power? I believe last year, Power was arguably one of the best teams in the league, but you came up short. Was it in the quarterfinals against the UCU team?
White Power. Power approached me when they found out that I was available, and they gave me an offer that looked so good I couldn't turn it down. And the other teams that were chasing me, I didn't rate them that much. And it was practicing from YMCA, which is close to my way home, and so many things that I was considering to sign for Power. That was part of it because it was accessible, you know, and the experience was great at Power in terms of the brotherhood. Those guys, you can't mess with a power play. You know that they're for their teammates. You know they do everything in unison, and that's important. It's important.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it at Power, though we came short, like you said, but I enjoyed the season basketball. So I enjoyed the basketball I played at Power. It was fun.
So where did you guys get it wrong? I believe you're meant to take the championship with a team set up like that. I think you guys have you had about two players in the national team and the Power team. Where did you guys get it wrong?
You know that's on paper, but the game is played on court. At the end of the day, the game is played on court, and how much do you want it? How much do the players want it when they get on the floor? You know, it came to that. It came to that. How committed are you? Yeah. How can you adjust knowing that these are player times as a player? You know, it came to that. It came to that. But me personally, I was hurt. The second game, I couldn't give 100%. I persevered, stayed on the floor for all the games until we were eliminated. And I also made some big shots that would have made us advance to the next round. Yeah.
So from Power on to Namblazers. I mean, this is a team that has just been promoted to the division. You decided to join Namblazers. What reason?
Still, after my season ended, I got approached by the Namblazers management. Yeah. They shared their dreams with me. They gave me an offer, and I have a relationship with some of the management. It was an easy adjustment for me switching to Namongo Blazers, and there were questions raised. Why did I move to Namongo? They just promoted them. What are the chances that I'm going to make it on the national team again? And I'm like, that was laughable to me. Whoever was telling me that, and I didn't give it too much attention because I know what I'm about. And players just started joining us later. As I talk, we have a solid team. I think we're ready to compete whenever they open up the gyms. And Namongo has big dreams. Big dreams. It's a good place to be. Great people around.
Where would you look at yourself? Where are you? Because you know usually the trend in Uganda is a team comes from down fighting relegation first option. Are you looking at fighting relegation,
No.
playoffs, or the championship?
No, we're not going to fight for relegation. It was never in the conversation when I was signing with Namongo. It will never be. We're just going to compete. We're just going to compete with all the big dogs in the league, and we want to give it our best shot to make it to the top four, and we'll see if we can meet the mighty Orioles. That's the goal.
So you've been MVP. You are the MVP last year.
Yes.
I mean, the league. I'll say you've been MVP 2 years in a row. Because I
Yes.
still remember Cyrus Kiviri as the 2019 regular season MVP.
Yes.
So, what was the difference? I mean, this is your first MVP and you've been in the league for about 10 years. What has been the difference? What was the difference last year for you to become the MVP?
In my opinion, no big difference. No big difference. I think I should have been the regular season MVP in 2012 when we won the championship, but it went to Norman Blake. And he told me, Cyrus, I'm sorry, as he was receiving it, because I'm sure I also knew that I was going to take it. He was like, Cyrus, I'm sorry, it should have been yours, but I have it, you know. I think I should have been MVP earlier, but it didn't happen. What was different? I think it was no, for sure. Yes, I did. I've developed a lot, mostly with my shooting. You know, mostly with my shooting, and my numbers were great. They are great. You know, my team didn't go that far then, but I had good numbers, statistics, and that's all that matters in basketball. I believe. I don't know if you share a different opinion about that.
So you've been a national team player since 2014.
Mm.
You've been
13.
2013.
Yes.
How has the national team affected your basketball? Like your personal career as a basketball player?
No, you know, before you talk about the national team, I played for the UPDF team in 2011, straight after my college, and they opened the doors for me. You know, I'm not a soldier, but I was recruited to help our brothers. So I went in Bujumbura. I'd never met such a crowd in my whole life. So this wasn't part of the question you asked, but just let me slide this in. And I was part of that team. It was an amazing experience. I was never the same player when I got back to UNC. It was wild in Bujumbura. It was wild on those courts. The way the Burundians used to play basketball, it was amazing to watch. They would shoot half court. They'll share the ball. We got lessons. We never won a game. We never won a game in 2011. So, as I got into the national team, to answer your question, how has it changed my life? Is that I meet different players, locally and internationally. I meet different players. You meet a Nigerian who's a star in the country, an Egyptian, Malian, different players. So when you get back to your home country, you have to think different because you're getting all these images coming back to you, like how this guy beat me on the layup, how I was supposed to slide in, how I would have shared the ball better. You know, you just develop basketball intellectually.
Are there players who helped you settle in the national team?
Yeah, I think the first time it was Henry Malinga. First time I went on the team, I played with him at Warriors. And you know, as you work out for the national team, there are many players. It's a 18, no, it's a huge number. It's a 17, 16, and you have to try out and make the cut. So Henry would come at me and say, "Hey, Cyrus, just don't worry, you're going to make the squad. Just keep working. Just keep doing what you do. Just keep working." And I enjoyed playing with Henry on the coast. Like, it was amazing. I was a junior, but there's a guy who would listen to anyone, even a water boy. Henry would listen, you know. So he helped me settle in, advised me.
So
Henry.
you had a stint with the national team in 2018 and went and represented the country in the Afro basketball. I mean, that's like African Cup of Nations. When it comes to basketball, how was it?
Mhm. You know, as I told you earlier, I was getting ready to travel with the soldiers to Burundi again for the games. So I didn't know about that selection. You know? And my teammate at Warriors then tells me as we are stretching, hey, you're not going to be away. We'll miss you. I mean, what do you mean? Where my head is? On the national team. I'm like, wow. So I didn't know. So the following day, I think I get a call from the national team manager and it's like, hey, get ready. We have a presser happening the next morning. Just come and be part of the team. We didn't try out, but had an amazing season there, and I was ready. Like then I was, I've always been ready to play for the national team. That's what I believe. Even when I didn't make the roster in 2015 when I hosted those games, like I was disappointed that I didn't make the roster. I thought I would have loved to be part of the team in a home crowd, yeah, but I didn't. I'm not salty about it, and it was challenged because I was going to play Afro basketball. But I'm Cyrus, and I went back to my home, thought about it, yeah, and accepted it. Try to visualize what's about to happen, and we are meeting a new coach because the training camp was in Alexandria then, and everyone was. It was a new beginning for everyone because the coach knew no one, and I was ready to compete for a sport, and it was an amazing experience. I'll tell you. But I was mentally ready to be part of the team and get a spot on the squad.
Do you have any role models you look up to?
My mom and dad.
That is it.
You see?
Do you get inspiration from maybe all-time greats NBA player?
Yeah. Allen Iverson, I think his story is amazing. Yeah, that's my favorite. Allen.
And anyone else?
A couple. There are many players. I like Monta Ellis. I used to enjoy watching Monta. Yeah. I was a Kobe fan, but like he used to terrorize my teams a lot. So like I didn't like him like that, but I respected him. Fierce competitor. And there are many players. It's the NBA. It has the cream, it's la cream.
Do you have an NBA all-time fan?
No, I just have my favorites. I just have my.
Locally, do you look up to any player? Like locally in terms of Uganda?
In terms of what?
Like someone who inspires. Who inspires you? Inspires something like that.
Maybe myself. Just no one. No one really. But I respect whoever I find on the floor. That's what I do, but like, no one.
Do you have an all-time NBL fight?
Our locally. Yeah, I think so.
At number one?
Cyrus.
So without Cyrus, of course.
But how can I make a team without myself?
Like, let me say you're the coach since you're already a coach.
Oh, okay.
All-time fight.
Yeah. Now you've simplified it for me. I'll go with Jimmy. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to talk about players that I've played with, but it's not like the other players are not good enough. I mean, Ken Balijusa is amazing. And I played with Jimmy. Amazing. I'll go with Jimmy. I'll go with Ochiti. I'm just going to throw them out there. I'll go with Ochiti. I'll go with Okelo. I like Okelo. I'll go with those are three.
Yeah, those are three.
I'll go with Henry. And Homer.
Okay, those are fine. Who's the toughest opponent you've come across?
I've come across so many tough
Okay,
guys.
offensively, defensively.
Come across like in as I was coming up, I met Colin Mukiza, lefty. That was a tough guy to get. For me, was a tough guy. He's a Kobe fan. He had an amazing footwork. He's jabbing good left and right. Had a soft touch. He used to shoot the free ball. So Colin Mukiza was tough in the lower division. And did you say here locally?
Locally or international?
Yeah. The Sudi was tough. Sudi was tough. Going through Sudi was tough. MacGyver. MacGyver reminds me of Owl. Owl and Namb. We used to cut a lot. They never stay in one position. So you're always on the move, cutting both sides. So it was tough. And yeah, and Balified is getting tougher as well. You know, because of his speed and his height.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Mm.
What's your go-to move on the basketball? You just say, I have a guy marking me, I'm going to use this move on him, and no one will ever stop.
I used to cross over a lot. Steve Francis, Allen Iverson. Like I'll do that move even if you're standing. It didn't matter how your stance was. I'll just do that move, and it would get guys. But I don't play basketball the same way. I try to attack someone the way he's standing. I just try to use my IQ and go through guys and no longer have a go-to move. But at times I bring it up when I have to. Bring up my crossover.
So, we're living in the times of the coronavirus. People don't believe
Tough
it is real.
times.
If you look around, like walking town, you don't see people putting on masks. They're no longer following the SOP. I just want you to look at the camera and advise the public on how to stay safe.
I mean, and let's trust the health officials that they know what they're doing. So many people have passed on outside Uganda, and we should stay safe and put on our masks all the time.
Then, the last one, for people who want to excel in basketball or excel and maybe want to become syrus or take you as their role model, what would you advise them to do?
I would advise such people to give basketball their time. Yeah, just make it number one opportunity, number one goal in your life. Don't make it a side job because then you won't get what you want. And stay humble, work hard, and things will come to you.
Yeah, that has been Cyrus Chiviri, 2019 FUBA MVP. And of course, he has a lot of accolades, but I think that is the one that is catchy and most recent. Cyrus, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Kenny.
Welcome. So, that has been Around the Game Sunday edition, and we'll see you in a little while. Have a good evening.